When using formulas and simplifying expressions and equations, it's important to follow order of operations. We'll look at a few examples now. Let's look at a few examples. As we are working through these, keep in mind our mnemonic device or memory aid for remembering the order of operations. You'll see the letters that I've written off to the side here, PEMDAS. And what this stands for, or this represents, is please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, which means we'll do the parentheses first, then we'll look at the exponents, then multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. And we'll do those in order from left to right. Let's look at the first example I have here. In this case, the parentheses are used just to show the sign on the number. For instance, it's a -3, so we group the negative with the 3. The operations involved here would be addition and multiplication. If we look at our mnemonic device, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, you'll see that multiplication comes before addition. So in this case, we'll take the -2 times -5. A negative times a negative is a positive, so that's a +10. And then I'll add the -3 to that. -3 plus 10 would be 7. The second example, I have 0 plus 2 times 3. Again, I have a choice. Addition, multiplication. Multiplication comes first. So 2 times 3 would be 6. 0 plus 6 is 6. The third example, multiplication over addition again. A -7 times a +1 would be -7. I'll add 4 to that, and I will get a -3. Let's look at a couple more examples that are a little more involved. This first example, I have 2 times the quantity, 13 minus the quantity, 1 plus 6. And notice there are two types of brackets or parentheses. We're going to first work with the innermost set of parentheses. So I'm going to add the 1 plus 6 first because, and please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, parentheses we do first. So I'm going to rewrite this as 2 times the quantity, 13 minus, and the sum, the answer to the addition problem, 1 plus 6, is 7. So now I have 2 times the quantity, 13 minus, and then 7 is what we got when we add the 1 and the 6 together. Now again, I'm looking at parentheses or grouping symbols. So I'm going to take the 13 minus 7 to do first, which in this case is 6, and then I'll take that times 2. So because there were parentheses around this, 13 minus 7, the subtraction, actually was done prior to the multiplication. So 2 times 6 would be 12. Let's look at one more. We have 100 minus 4 times the quantity 7 minus 4 cubed. If I look at this, I'm still going to do the parentheses first. So I'm going to have 100 minus 4 times the quantity, and that 7 minus 4 we're going to simplify to 3. And that would be raised to the third power. The exponent, which is what we'll see next in the please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, would be of 3, and it's written above the 3 in the parentheses. Now the exponent only has power over what is directly written above. So 100 minus 4 times 3 to the third power. 3 to the third power means 3 times 3 times 3, or 27. So I'm going to make that replacement. So 100 minus 4 times 27. Now I have a choice of multiplication, since they're written side by side, or this subtraction. And of course, in order of operations, multiplication comes before subtraction. So in this case, I'll take the 4 times 27 and get 108. And that's to be subtracted from 100. 100 minus 108 would be -8, and that's the final answer.